Hello, everyone. This is Lyrata Barrett for the Institute for Global Transformation, coming back to you this month to talk about reincarnation. In this in this episode, I will speak briefly on reincarnation and I will um, allow everyone to go through a brief, simple meditation that you can continue to do on your own until we meet again. Reincarnation is. There's no question about it. There's no doubt about it. It is the only way in which we, as humanity, can gain experience, glean the knowledge from each lifetime, and evolve as a species. Each and every one of us holding an aspect, a divine spark of divinity, okay, spirit, as the teachings you'll see in the teachings, occupies one spirit, occupies all of us. We each hold a divine spark of the one, and that one wants to experience everything through the totality of all. We call that one the great cosmic biggie, for lack of another term. And then there are steps down on a planetary level, depending on where we are, the planetary logos, who is that which is what we call God. Okay? So let's begin to break it down so that we understand the components, what makes up, why, how, so forth and so on. All truths are clothed in religions and cultures. According to the nuances of the people itself, culture itself. Within all religions run parallel principles, teachings that are themselves universal. Back in 2009, they sampled about 18,000 people. You can find this online, Google it, reincarnation. And 18,000 people in 23 countries. And at that time, 2009, 51% of those people believed in reincarnation. That's some 13 years ago now. So I would venture a good guess that with the speeding up of the comprehension and understanding of humanity over the last 13 years, and with the initiation that the planet itself is undergoing, with the depth of experiences that we are now having, and the fact that the veil between the worlds is so thin, I would venture a guess that it is more, much more, of humanity that is now aware of and believes in reincarnation. So, as I was saying a moment ago, there is one spirit in many bodies. The bodies themselves are what we call substance, also the vehicle. But for this particular episode, I'm going to use the word substance a lot. The substance of the bodies we know as matter, the matter aspect, or intelligence, okay, intelligent substance, or divine intelligence. Okay? The interplay between spirit and substance, the interplay between spirit and divine intelligence creates what is known as consciousness or soul, that which basically recognizes itself, is aware of itself. Okay? It's also known as the Son of God. All different terms, but basically all meaning the same thing: consciousness, soul, the Son of God. So right there we have in itself, we have the Trinity outlined. We have spirit, divine will, check, substance, divine intelligence, matter, mother, and the interplay between the two, creating consciousness, soul, the Son of God. When we're very young, and sometimes still as adults, and that's what we have to actually work to change, we identify with this substance that we are. We identify with the bodies. We know nothing else. We think we are it. In reality, we're something much more. We're consciousness. We're soul. Using form to experience life and learn lessons in order to evolve. But even a great portion of humanity still doesn't realize that to this day. Our form aspect has three types of substance that it uses. It uses the physical, that substance that's vibrating at its lowest frequency, that aspect of spirit, really, vibrating at its lowest frequency. And that gets into other teachings because spirit is matter, matter is spirit, each vibrating at different frequencies. Then we have the emotional aspect. So we've talked about the physical. Now we have the emotional aspect. This is that substance that creates a feeling nature within our consciousness. Its frequency range is higher than that of the physical, and it is a place where most of humanity hangs out because it is where we have evolved to. as a group, as a race, but we are moving now, many of us are moving beyond that point. And as I told you before in past episodes, we're moving from the emotional to the mental. Okay? We're learning how to be mentally focused. So, this particular lesson, we step back just a little bit in order to step forward beyond where we were. So, the emotional aspect or aspect of substance is the second part of the three different types of substance. It creates a feeling nature within our consciousness. Its frequency range is higher than that of the physical. Most of humanity lives there. It is also known as astral substance, as it appears to the clairvoyant liquidy. Actually, astral substance is really a force that acts, being part of the form nature, as that power to bring that which we create in our minds into physical manifestation. I'll go back and repeat that. So, emotional substance, also known as astral substance, is really, appears liquidy to the clairvoyant, is really a force. It is that power that we use to bring that which we wish to create in our minds, that which, the idea that we have in our minds, into physical manifestation. That's what the astral, emotional aspect of our being is really for. Truth be told, it's not to be simply reactive or happy or excited or fearful. That's not what the emotional body or substance is for. It's for something totally different, and we've not been taught that, but you're getting it now. So within humanity, it becomes a drive. This emotional substance becomes a force, a desire, supplying humanity with that intangible force to accomplish what we set out to do. Take a moment and think about that. And we'll be talking about it again in the future. And then part 3 of the 3 types of substance is the mental substance. It is this substance that we formulate thought with. It is with this substance that mental blueprints are created. Here's where the plans for the ideas that we may have in mind to create are made. This is where the blueprints are formulated within mental substance. The final product of that which we seek to create or that which we create, will depend on one, how clearly we formulate the plan in mental substance, the blueprint, the idea. Two, the final product will depend on how, or rather, the inner drive, that inner drive, that inner force, that inner desire within astral substance that we give to the plan. How pure is that energy going to be, that force, really, that force going to be? Is it diluted? Has it been spun to its height so that it can be utilized for the purpose of birthing this new thing, this new idea we may have into physical manifestation? And three, or the third aspect as to whether or not or how clearly the product that we seek to create is formulated, is that of what our physical body does in activity to reproduce that blueprint, all the aspects of that blueprint, to birth all the aspects of that blueprint into physical dance. And this is all the purview of intelligent activity. Divine spirit, divine intelligence, consciousness. Divine spirit, the will aspect. Divine intelligence, the matter aspect. Soul, consciousness, the divine sun, the interplay between the two. These three bodies make up the form nature. These bodies interpenetrate one another. They are of different frequencies, each and every one. Mental substance is of a higher frequency than the astral. The astral is of a higher frequency, but step down from the mental, it's a higher frequency than the physical. And the physical is the lowest frequency, the slowest of all the frequencies. It's spirit vibrating at its lowest frequency because all are one. But they occupy, each of these bodies occupy the same time and space. They're of different frequencies, but they occupy the same time and space. So when an incarnation is over, when our life ends, the essence of the form of these three bodies is abstracted or withdrawn from its vehicle, from the substance it was. The conscious thinking I also is withdrawn with it. The development of consciousness of the thinking I determines the place of its withdrawal. So, what does that mean? If someone has spent their life in the emotional body, simply feeling, reacting, sensing, which we all do. But if that person within that incarnation has never expanded beyond the emotional body, never asked the inner question, is this all there is? Am I not more than this? Is this the extent of my life pattern in reaction to everything that is or that occurs in my life? Then that conscious thinking I, as it's withdrawn, will be withdrawn to the emotional level, the emotional aspect of their being, okay? Or what was the emotional aspect of their being. If a person has lived a mental life, a person has lived a life wherein they are not emotionally polarized at all. Things can come at them. People can throw darts, so to speak, if they want, in order to try to disturb them on an emotional level. But because they're not there, they don't feel it. They can see them coming. They might even, but it doesn't really land because energetically they are in a totally different place. They're living in a totally different dimension than those around them may realize, although they're obviously will know something is different about them. So, whatever level one is, at whatever level one is living, that is the level that the withdrawal, the abstraction, moves to. A person who exists in their feelings will be withdrawn to their astral emotional body when their life is over. A person who exists primarily in their mental body will be withdrawn to the mental. I'd like you now to take this bit of information in, and for those of you who have never been aware of it, to kind of give it some time to percolate in your being for deeper understanding. And as you do that, let's utilize this meditative or contemplative form as a vehicle for deeper understanding. I'd like you to take a moment and close your eyes. Become still in that place where you live, in your body. Take a moment and find out where exactly that is. And once you register it, become still there. Think I. And identify that I by saying your name. What does that mean? Focus in your physical body. And contemplate the following sentence. I am not my physical body. I occupy it, using it as an instrument of contact with the world in which I live. Through it, I see, I hear, I taste, touch, and smell. But I am no more my body than I am those other forms that I perceive with my senses. I am consciousness. Feel the frequency of that statement. And follow it as a note, a sound. Letting go of the words. And simply connected to the energy of the statement itself. Its sound, its frequency, its note. Turn your attention to your astral emotional body, that liquidy aspect of yourself, vibrating at a slightly higher frequency than your physical body. Visualizing it as a substantial body, resembling liquid, interpenetrating the physical body. And contemplate the following statement. Allow the statement itself to simply flow through you, trying not to attach to the thought or the words, but hearing it as a note, a sound, or frequency that you simply glide behind. I am not my emotional nature. I occupy this body and use it to give power to my plans. I can choose my feelings. Consider those feelings you want to radiate outward to others. Now, turn your attention to your mental body. See it as a body resembling a gaseous energy that interpenetrates the astral as well as the physical. And contemplate the following. I am not my mind nature. I occupy this body and use it in order to formulate thought. With this substance, I create. I can choose my thoughts. What thoughts do you seek to experience and manifest as an influence for good in the world? Contemplate these three bodies within which you, the conscious thinking I, live, and the spirit which indwells them. Contemplate for a few moments the following seed thought. I am the soul. I am the adult son or daughter, if you will, of God. Follow the sound of the frequency, the note of that seed thought. Allow the energies of these seed thoughts to percolate in your being and precipitate a new level of awareness and understanding of our three bodies and their purpose, and the Trinity in and of itself that works out within our world in so many different ways, on so many different levels. I thank you for your time and your interest, and look forward to our connection next month, where we will continue and deepen this particular lesson into its next segment. Okay? Blessings to all of you. Thank you so much. This global meditation is brought to you by the Institute for Global Transformation. And we ask that you take the time to review the Institute's website, newsletter, become a member. It is doing so much for so many in many different ways. It is a joy to be able to serve under their roof. Take the time to explore the many things that are going on with IFGT. Okay? Take good care. Till next time. Bye bye.